Hello, this is Tim, and I'm going to be presenting on behalf of myself, Raj, and Vaughn, the Small World social application developed for mobile phones. This application is meant to be solving the problem regarding people interacting more and more online and forgetting how to connect with others in person. We're essentially going to provide a means that show the user who around them shares their mutual interests, ideally people who they would want to connect with because of that shared interest, and then help facilitate a conversation with them that drives them towards meeting that person face to face. We took inspiration actually from the current leaders in online social networks that drive people to meeting in person. Mainly online dating, Tinder, Match, eHarmony, OkCupid, all those guys have users that are focused on meeting someone and eventually leading towards meeting in person. Now, ideally, yeah, those people want to date and meet in person, but hey, people want to find friends and others with mutual interests to meet up and share a beer with or something as well. We really like the idea of the proximity-based matching that Tinder has to offer because it really keeps everything local and increases the chances that you're going to meet this person rather than just any kind of online messaging thing. Match.com and lots of other online sites end up having you set up profiles with your interests on there in hopes that you could find someone with shared interests. And we really like the idea of Twitter's anonymity, like you can create a username and be who you want to be when you chat, and it's really up to you if you want to share your personal information with someone. And that is kind of the setting that really prevents this application from being used for dating purposes. So we have a couple of ideal scenarios, and we're going to go through those here. The first would be someone visiting a new town that maybe wants to see if there's anyone around that they can hang out with so they don't have to be alone in this town. And they can pop up the app and find out that someone who went to the same school as them is right there, start a chat, and end up connecting with that person and grabbing a beer. The second option is really when you may be at a mutual interest or you just find someone on there, you start talking to them, and they're abusive in some way. Maybe they're treating it like an online dating app and trying to connect or be overly sexual, and you're just trying to be friends. We want it to be just as easy to block somebody as it is to connect with them further. So ideally, people are going to be alerted passively on their phone by a notification, pop up, anything that, hey, someone is near you that has a lot of interests that you share. But when they open their app, they would also see a list of people who share interests with people who are close to them at the top, and then it lists a couple of their top interests there as well. So we moved on to a couple prototype options where we added. We did decide that we were going to have a profile for the user, and this profile would have both a non-sharing and sharing version. In the non-sharing version, you really just see how far away they are and their interests with your mutual ones at the top. And then once the users have elected to share information with each other, you would then see their picture and their name and other private information. But again, that's once they decide that they want to share it with you and you also share your information with them. That way there's kind of a private sharing design pattern in effect here that makes people feel more comfortable about regulating their profile on the site. In messaging is probably the focus of the app. We do want it to be really easy to block someone and really easy to share pictures and personal information, because obviously we do want to push people towards meeting in person, and you're not going to feel comfortable doing that until you've seen pictures and know their name and have a better idea, because we do want people to be safe as well. But we ultimately put the control of sharing that information in the user's hands. So again, we start with the list view. that gives you the list of all the people that are matched near you, and that's kind of where you're going to be, where most people are going to be most often. You're going to see this in a lot of things where you're looking at different options, whether it's online shopping, online dating, or whatever. So we figured people would be pretty comfortable seeing it here as well. We did again have those two different profiles. So you'd start with a limited profile that only gives you access to some of the information on someone until you've both decided to share information. So you start with the limited profile, and then you would go to a full profile, something that you would see once you've elected to share information with someone completely and they have chosen to do the same with you. Then you could revisit this person's profile and see the full profile as long as they haven't blocked you at that point. Blocking users is just 2 button presses away during messaging. You have the little dots up in the corner and block user, and then just a confirmation to make sure that you don't do it accidentally, because there is no going back. The real goal of this app is just to connect people that have mutual interests, and making sure that they feel comfortable talking online and ultimately pressing them towards meeting in person and possibly becoming friends. It really is just mirroring that same interaction you have when you do talk to someone in person. You find out you have something in common or some mutual friend in common, and leads to the expression, wow, what a small world. Well, that's our presentation. Thank you for looking at that. I'm going to go ahead and add on an app demonstration so you can see what this looks like in action. Feel free to ask any questions you have of our group on the D2L message boards, or just leave a comment. All right, welcome to the app demonstration for Small World. This demonstration is going to assume that the user currently has a profile and has set their interest, but if you didn't, you could click on the hamburger icon bringing up your menu where you can see your profile, change your location settings such as the distance with which you'd like to be matched with other users, and your interest settings and rankings and all that sort of stuff. So the user would land on this splash screen that gives you the people closest to you with the most matches, because that's the most important part of the site. Now imagine you click on someone that you're not currently friends with, and you're going to see this kind of profile. It's very sparse, no pictures, no actual name, just how far away they are and your matched interests as well as their other interests. You can tap the shoulder of someone, which changes your notification so you know that you have tapped them, kind of like a smile or a wink on other online dating sites, like, hey, I see you, I want to talk to you, or I'm interested in talking to you. But you could always just start the conversation yourself. That brings up your basic messaging interface that allows you to effectively text with this person, and it stores those over time. You could always revisit someone's profile once you've saved and talked to them, no matter how far away you actually are from them at that point. But then we do make it really easy by having this icon right next to the chat window to share information with that person. This allows you to share your picture and your name so that they can feel more comfortable about meeting you in person. Actually, after about 30 minutes or so of talking with someone, of talk time with them, you would be prompted by the app to share your information, because we ultimately do want to drive people towards interacting face-to-face, and they're going to do that once they've shared information. Now, if we go back to the menu here, we can look at the second option, which assumes you've already shared your information, which is going to give you their profile picture as well as this handy star. It kind of lets you know that they've been verified by outside sources, maybe a Facebook profile, anything, so that you know they're a legit person. Still gives you all the interests about them, but kind of fills out more in the profile, and as well as a map of where you were when you met that person and kind of their general location. Then you can visit past messages that you've had with the person and things like that. But imagine you're talking with this person and they pull out something raunchy or anything that really makes you offended by that person and you don't want to talk to them ever again. You can very easily click up here on the triple dots, go to block user, and it'll show up with the confirmation because it doesn't want you to do it by accident. But you can block that person, and they'll immediately be removed from your list, and it'll land you back at home. So that's kind of the two basic interactions we're looking for in Small World. We imagine there could be many more interactions added and features in the future, but that's what we're looking at now. Thank you very much.